Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rachel from Active Rachel Ann, and I am coming to talk to you today about the iTrackBites Calorie Command Plan. This is a plan that I follow. I am also an iTrackBites ambassador. So thanks for coming, thanks for watching, and I apologize for my messy office, but let's get started. iTrackBites on their Instagram page posted a question in the stories about asking the community to ask their questions about the Calorie Command Plan, and I am going to answer those questions now. We've totaled them up and tallied them up, and here are those questions. Before we get into answering those questions, though, let me explain to you a little bit more about Calorie Command Plan. What does that mean? Calorie Command Plan basically is just counting calories. It's just taking it right to the most fundamental level. In the 1900s is about the time frame when counting calories started. There was scientists who realized that if you decreased or calorie deficit throughout the day, you could lose weight. And so that is the basic premise of counting calories, and hence Calorie Command Plan. The Calorie Command Plan is for the person who is already eating healthy, but they just want help eating less. It's numbers driven, and weighing and measuring is very important on this plan. Calorie Command is counting calories and not bites. Question number 1, are there weeklies with this plan? And the answer is no. There are no weeklies with this plan. You basically have a set amount of calories for each day of the week, 7 days a week, and that's it. There's no splurge calories to just have on the weekends or any extra calories through the week. You basically, what you see is what you get. You start with a total of calories in the day, and you eat through them, and whatever you are left with is what you are at the end of the day. You don't get to carry those calories over to another day. Question number 2. How would you describe the activity levels? So the first activity level is sedentary. And what does that mean? That means that majority of your day, you're sitting. So an office job, like just so much of the day is sitting. And then once in a while, you might get up and walk to and from like the bathroom or get in and out of your car to do something. But majority of the day is sitting. The next activity level is light. So what does light mean? It means mostly sedentary. Standing or sitting is majority of the plan, but it also includes 30 minutes of some type of activity. So whether you're walking briskly or doing light aerobics for 30 minutes, but still majority of the time you're sitting. And the professions would be like a teacher or a salesman or a retail worker. Those are kind of the professions of a light activity. Then the next activity level is moderate, and moderate is like your waitress or a nurse. So they're mostly walking, plus they would have vigorous activity at least 45 to 60 minutes in length for 3 to 4 days of that week. Next, you're gonna have your heavy activity level. This is like a nurse, someone who's on their feet a lot. They're gonna be walking like majority of their shift. Intense exercise, 60 minutes or more, 5 to 7 days per week. Think of fitness instructor or farmer or nurse, that type of work. And then the last activity level is called extreme, and this is like nearly impossible to acquire. That is basically, it's so demanding and very physical that you're standing like most of the day, and you're doing like assembly line work or like a coal miner, or you're shoveling or lifting or just really using your body from start to finish through most of the day. Like that's so hard to imagine and seeing that and achieving that. So those are the activity levels. Question number 3, do you eat your activity calories? And I'll say this, no, I currently do not. When I first started, yes, I did. I have a Fitbit, and I had synced it up to my iTrackBites app. And so by the end of the day, I would put all my food in or kind of do it as it was happening. And then I didn't sync my watch to my phone until the very end of the day. So close to bedtime, I might be negative 200 calories or went over my calorie allotment for the day. And then I would sync my watch, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I've got like another 400 calories, another 200 or 400 calories that I had burned through the day with activity. So that gave me this idea, this sense of like, whew, relief, like I didn't blow it. So when you first start, I think that's important, that you aren't starting off the bat feeling like a failure every day. Like, I think that's okay. As I've been on the plan now for almost 2 years, I don't use it. I don't sync my watch anymore because I tend to take advantage of that and rely on that as a safe boundary to say it's okay to overeat or to eat more calories than I should. And then in the end, I'm not in a deficit at the end of the day. So I don't do it anymore. But it is fun to see how many calories I burn through the day. Question number 4. Have you been on Calorie Command since you started? And the answer is no. I started using Carb Conscious. And again, that goes by bites. And you do get weekly bites to use whenever you want through the week. It kind of depends on where you're coming from and as to like where you started and where you plan to go. And like for me, I came to iTrackBites from a competitor, and in that program through the competitor, there were points that were being kept control of. And so transitioning here to iTrackBites, I wanted something similar. So transitioning to a bites system to me made sense. Then, as I've progressed through this program, I realized that I didn't like having to calculate the bites for each meal. I wanted to make it easier on myself and just go with one number, focus on one number, keep it as simple as possible. And I use the analogy that it's very similar to my bank account. So I start with X amount of money at the beginning of the day, or calories. And then as I use those calories, which doesn't take the app, I don't need the app to figure out the calories or the amount of each food that I eat, because if you're reading the food labels, it tells you the calories in each food. And so I can kind of do quick math in my head so that if I don't get a chance to put the food in immediately, then I know that by the end of the day, kind of roughly where I'm at. So it's a check and balance system for me. It's simple math, and it's just a simple plan for me, and it works. Question 5, what made you choose it? Meaning this plan, Calorie Command Plan. And there's your answer. I just answered it like in tandem with question number 4, so I apologize. But yes, it's a simple, easy plan for me. It's black numbers is the numbers you start with at the beginning of the day, like your total amount of calories. And as you work your way down the day, you see that those numbers are slowly decreasing. And then once you hit the red, then you know that you ate too many calories than what you were allotted for the day. So that's your red numbers. And to me, it's just math. Question number 6, do you always trust the food labels and or the iTrackBites food nutritional listings as far as how many bites or calories it is? And so it's a 2-part question, right? I do trust the food labels of the foods that I'm grabbing and I'm reading. So that's like the very first step. You have to be able to read the food label first, like calories, protein, carbohydrates, sugars, fats. You got to be able to see what it is of the food that you're actually starting with and putting in your mouth. And so I do trust those labels because they're set by the manufacturer, and I have to trust that the food that's in the product is on the label. However, with iTrackBites app, I do once in a while check for accuracy. So I compare whatever foods I'm picking off the app and match it to my food label and make sure that the nutritional facts match. And if they don't, The neat thing about iTrackBites is that you can customize it. You can go in and edit that food in your list and change it to match and be accurate. Question 7, do you weigh your own stuff? And by stuff, I think they mean food, and the answer is yes. I just went to Walmart. I bought a very generic food scale. I think it's like $10. I've had it for well over 10 years. It's not pretty, but it's accurate. And it goes by just a battery that I put in the back. So weighs food in grams, ounces, milligrams. And so it's just so wonderful when you're starting out to definitely take a moment and weigh your food. So it's all up to you on what plan you want to try. But if you do try the Calorie Command Plan, and before you start using it, I definitely would just take one day or a week and weigh out all of your food each day. Like before you even try to decide whether or not you want to lose weight or how much or how many calories you want to eat for a day, just to get a real good understanding and get into the practice of weighing your food. And by what I say by weighing, I mean lettuce, ketchup, everything. So, and I just showed this on my Instagram page a while ago. I poured barbecue sauce or ketchup into my 1 table measuring spoon, and when I weighed it, then after I used it onto my food, I was licking that spoon. You better believe it, because any little bit of food that's still left on the spoon or in the measuring cup, that's yours to have because you measured it and you accounted for it. So lick your spoons, people. Every calorie counts. Question 8, and this is the last question. Would you recommend Calorie Command for new users? And this is a hard question to answer, and I'll say this. It kind of depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from a competitor, again, where you were following points or a similar system, then I probably wouldn't. I probably would follow a plan that's similar so that you kind of get into the groove of how the iTrackBites app works using bites. If you're familiar with that and you feel comfortable and confident and you're ready to switch things up and you've got all these different plans to choose from with iTrackBites, then go with whatever sounds good to you. If you are a brand new user and you've never tried weight loss before in the past, and this is all new to you, then yes, I do think that this plan is ideal and beneficial for that new user because it's so basic. It's just calories. You're just keeping track of calories. And a lot of other apps out there do the same thing, but this is what's wonderful about the iTrackBites app is that you can choose to change your plan at any time. So if you get to a point where you think counting calories is boring, well, you can switch it up and change to a different plan altogether. But if this is your first time using something and actually trying to lose weight, then this plan is for you because it's just so basic. You're putting in your calories. That's it. That's all you have to keep track of. You could keep track of this on a piece of paper, then by the end of the day, you can transfer it all to your app. Or you can pre-plan and start your day off right and put all of your foods and all of the meals you're going to be eating for the day into your app, and you're ahead of the game. So by the end of the day, if you change or alter or update the app with something different that you chose to eat, then that's all up to you. It just takes the guesswork out of all of it. So I wanted to run through just a basic instruction of how to determine that caloric intake. And this is just an example, so don't take this to heart if this doesn't resonate with you or if this is not correct for you. But if you think about it, if you're using the app and you're choosing the plan Calorie Command, the things that it's going to ask you is that it's based on your age, your gender, your weight, your height, and your activity level. So for an example, let's say that you call yourself light active. So again, not sedentary, but somebody like a retail worker, someone who moves around a little bit for the job, but still sits quite a bit, but then also maybe 30 minutes of activity through the week, 3 to 4 days a week. So, and then let's say you're 150 pounds and you're 5'6" and you're a female and you want to lose 1 pound per week. So the baseline caloric intake is approximately 2,000 calories. Your weight loss goal of 1 pound per week is a deficit of 500 calories per day. So that's 2,000 calories minus 500 calories equals a 1,500 daily caloric allowance. Pretty easy, right? Again, it's just math. So that is just an example. It kind of depends, again, how many pounds and what's your goal? What's your fitness goal? What's your weight loss goal? Do you want to be more active? Do you want to lose more weight? 2 pounds a week. Less weight, 0.5 pounds a week. Do you want to gain weight? This plan is for you. So, and all of the plans have that option as far as weight gain or weight loss as an option. Thank you everybody for watching. My name is Rachel. I'm with Active Rachel Ann. This has been the iTrackBites Basic Calorie Command Questions. And I'm so grateful that I could be here to talk to you guys. Look for me in upcoming videos because there's other topics that I'm going to talk about this month. And coming in January, I'm going to even talk even more details about Calorie Command. So I can't wait to see you again. Thanks for watching.